right. There's no angels where I go, only pieces that are broken, scattered dreams across the floor. I'm home.
Alrighty, hello everybody, this is Kiru's show here. Now, let us begin. Whenever we last left off, Deku, he had just begun training with garnets. And, well, it had been a bit different. Deku didn't realize exactly how strong he was, finding out that he has Gem Super Strength, as we'll call it, meaning that he is vastly strong. Now, with that being said, Deku, he's been training with Garnet for roughly a couple weeks now, and has actually gotten to the point where he can throw a solid enough punch to actually break through something. If you were to throw, let's say, a rock at him, or probably even an explosion like Bakugo did, if Deku were to bring up his shield, he could probably at least block it without sliding backwards, meaning that he can at least take the blow. So, with that being said, Deku is down by the boardwalk today, since there's a bit more carnival things going on, and it has opened up for summer vacation. Plus, Deku's been told that he should at least hang out and take some time away from training, since he still should have a bit more of a normal childhood. Deku at least taking his dad's instruction. He's a bit right though. Bakugo usually does hang out and talk with some of his friends, and they were going to be here today. So, this is where everyone would meet up, and actually have a bit more fun. Going on all the weird rides and actually checking things out, along with playing games in the arcade. Until there's a bit of a weird incident. Now, Deku and Bakugo are actually arguing quite a bit, trying to actually figure out which ride they should go on next. Deku suggesting the Ferris wheel, while Bakugo wants to go on a roller coaster. Deku wants to go someplace high and actually check out the beach, along with actually see what is going on. Bakugo, however, wants to go on a roller coaster. It might not be the ones that they have at fairgrounds or, well, at amusement parks, but it's still at least a roller coaster. And it is approaching close to Midoriya's 8th birthday, because I believe his birthday is July 15th, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, hang on. Okay, I'm actually surprised I somehow remembered that. Anyways, now, Deku is at least thinking about what they should do. And, well, one thing does come to mind. He does at least want to, well, ask for sword training lessons, since Pearl basically has been postponing them a lot. He does usually try and ask, but Pearl's response is usually still the same. When you're older, yada yada yada. This somewhat at least annoying Midoriya, since he's already at least mastered how to use a bow staff, and the, well, shock batons, or stun batons if you want to call them that, since you basically break down a bow staff into 2 pieces, which he actually somewhat is at least liking, since it does help to increase and, well, mess with his fighting style, making him more unpredictable. Because if he does that in battle, then, well, you wouldn't really know what to expect, since now you're being hit from 2 different angles. Now, with that being said, Deku is still having a bit of fun. Whenever they do get on top of the Ferris wheel, things would be a bit cool. Deku and Bakugo actually did have to play a game of rock, paper, scissors, and Deku was able to win, since Bakugo, liking to use his explosions during the game, always uses an open palm, meaning that he'll pick paper. and Deku knows that. Now, with that being said, they would have got on top of the Ferris wheel, and been having a bit more fun. However, Deku, whenever he's on top, does at least see something a bit odd. And, well, weird. Whenever he's looking over the beach, he does realize that things are a bit weird. Well, it seems a lot brighter today. And he's not really sure as to why. He does want to ask that question, but before he can even do anything, this is whenever a villain would begin to attack the boardwalk. This actually causing a bit of chaos down there. Apparently, one thing he thought about doing, to at least buy himself some time, was to rig a couple of the things around him, using his quirk. Along with that, the heroes that are trying to help aren't really being very effective. The Ferris wheel beginning to somewhat spin and move certain ways, it backing up and then moving forwards. Everyone actually beginning to move around a bit, and some people actually beginning to freak out, since the Ferris wheel is now in full spin. A lot of people actually somewhat holding on for dear life, because if they don't, they're going to go flying out of it at max speed. And Deku's holding on too. With his super strength, it's not as hard. And in fact, it wouldn't be as weird. Although he is denting the metal, actually somewhat crushing it quite a bit. And Deku would have been okay with that. He can at least write it off later, trying to be a bit more tactical. However, he is still freaking out, trying to stay calm in the situation. He doesn't have much training in that area, so what does he have to do? As he would look down, and see that the board is somewhat fried. So he's kind of a bit freaked out by that. That means that this thing cannot be stopped. However, eventually a hero would have arrived. One with a strength quirk. And, well, they would have grabbed the Ferris wheel, stopping it as something happens. A person would go flying out of the Ferris wheel, and be heading straight into the water. Deku actually jumping off the Ferris wheel and in after them. Since the thing is still somewhat moving, the pro is actually losing his footing against it, and they need to find the emergency shutoff. Eventually, they would have done so, and Deku, let's cut over with him. The person just flew out of the Ferris wheel, and Deku saw them go airborne, and he jumped off after them, being able to grab the person, and form his bubble, right before smashing into the water. Now, that doesn't seem like a very good feat, but considering the fact that Deku just did that, since he really couldn't see any other option, he was able to at least keep things a little bit more even out. Or evened out if you want to call it that. As Deku actually does take the brunt of the impact, somewhat rolling around and finding this to be a bit odd. Whenever they do, hit the bottom of the water and begin to roll down. Rolling off of I don't remember what they're called, but it's like a edge where it just takes a deep slope. Running down it and actually going further. Eventually, the two would have settled down, and Deku would be able to shake off most of this dizziness. Are you okay? Yeah, I'll be fine. But what's going on? Oh, well, this is a thing I can do. Oh, this is your quirk? Well, kinda. I kinda have a weird quirk. Deku at least being able to get up and sit down. Actually looking up around him. Quite a bit of things. As The girl would look up too, a bit awed and in shock, saying that they're at the bottom of the ocean. And, well, Deku just saying that I don't think we're that far. We just rolled, so. It's gotta have been about a couple minutes. I'm not sure what to do now, though. But which direction is the right way? Deku actually trying to think about that. Not just that, how far down are they? This is gonna be a bit hard to explain to, as he'd go to pull out his phone. No reception. Of course. Now, Deku would just say that I think that we need to move. The girl at least agreeing, but which direction? They can't really see very far, and even if they could, you can't really ask a fist for directions back to the surface. You probably could, but he'd give you crappy ones. Anyways, they're at least trying to figure this out. As eventually, after roaming around the bottom of the ocean for a while, they would have stopped. And Deku would take a deep breath, trying to figure this out. Saying that we could pop the bubble and try and swim up, but we're not exactly sure how much is up. This is going nowhere. What to do? Think Izuku think. As the girl just asks him if he's okay. Deku just somewhat saying, yeah, I've just kind of never been in this situation. I've been in something similar, but not this. Huh? What do you mean? Well, I mean, I've kind of been attacked by a monster before, but my friends saved me. Okay, as the girl looked down, seeing a bit of a shine under Deku's shirt, his gem partially sticking out. Her asking exactly what is that? Deku pulling up his shirt saying, oh, that's my gem. I kinda got it from my mom. Her asking exactly what does that mean? And who's your mom? Oh, Rose Quartz. The girl immediately just fangirling, and saying that that's actually really cool. Wait, so you can do all that crazy stuff she can? I mean, I can probably try. Although I have been discovering some abilities. One that not even she really has. Deku just explaining, as he does actually take a breath in and a small breath out, letting out some pink fire. The girl getting very giddy, and saying that that's amazing. Well, nice to meet you then. My name is Mina Ashito. The girl is holding her hand out. Deku standing back up, saying that it's nice to meet you too. But I'm guessing that this is going to be a bit tricky. They need to get out of here, and whatever they do next, they need to be careful. So, let me think. Deku trying to figure this out. He could probably open the bubble for enough just to get him out, but he doesn't want to risk it. He knows that he's strong, but even then, he needs to think of an idea. As he does at least try one thing. He bends down and jumps upwards, hitting the top of the bubble as he does push it up. This not really working. Until Deku would try again. Her just asking what is he doing. Deku just saying that he's trying to at least, well, break the surface of the water. If they can break through and look around, then they'll at least see something, right? Her just saying that she's not very sure about that. Even then, it could be a bit worse if they do that. You could pop this thing. Huh? Oh, no, I don't think I can. I mean, I could if I wanted to, but it's not that easy. Him just explained that this thing is a lot more durable than it looks. I might call it a bubble. It's more like, well, my friend has an explosion quirk, right? And, well, I have a shield that can withstand his explosions, and so can this thing. So even then, it's all fine. The two actually talking for quite a bit. Until eventually, somewhere around an hour later, they wouldn't find their way to shore, but they would have been able to roam around. Eventually, one of the gems walking up. With their bodies made of light, they can't swim. So they would just be walking around on the bottom of the ocean. This is whenever Garnet would have walked up, asking if Izuku is okay, and exactly what happened. She heard about it earlier that he jumped into the ocean to try and save someone, and seeing the other girl inside the bubble, saying, "Oh, you found her." Yeah, but can you get us back to the surface? We're not exactly sure where we are. Garnet just picking up the bubble, and walking them back to shore, as they would be very surprised. Mina's parents come running up, and well, so does Bakugo's group. Them actually a bit surprised at Izuku, asking him exactly what happened, and asking him if he can breathe underwater. Deku just saying no, in fact, as he would take a deep breath, saying that it was starting to get very difficult to do. Very difficult down there. So, I should at least be thankful that Garnet found us. People actually cheering Garnet on, as a report would be stated about the villain attack, and it would be found that the villain's quirk isn't what tried to, well, make more things malfunction. Back on the Ferris wheel, Mina's dad somewhat freaked out. He does have a corrosive style of quirk, similar to Mina's, and he tried to at least throw acid on the control panel, hoping to short it out, and actually stop it. After the thing went crazy. However, that didn't really work. And the hero couldn't find the emergency stop. So that means that he had to get everyone off the Ferris wheel one by one. After, well, breaking the mechanism. Basically holding it long enough to destroy the engine, or the thing spinning the wheel. Now, after that happened, Deku would have been a bit more yikes about this, along with actually hearing from Garnet that they had to take care of some other business. Before, well, hearing about this. So, I hope you at least had a good day. Deku saying that it was somewhat weird, but, well, he made a new friend. The girl actually running up, and asking for Garnet's autograph, along with thanking Midoriya, by saying it was very nice to meet him, and that if things are, well, lucky, they should meet again. In fact, they should actually hang out a bit, before the end of the summer. Now, eventually, they would do so, becoming fast friends. along with Mina actually being really happy to learn Deku has a lie-in, and things would be getting a bit more complicated with the situation. Eventually, the summer would end, and they would all go back to separate schools, as Deku has to deal with a bit more of a situation. They need to check the warp, because if they don't, things will begin to get complicated. They need to make sure, as Garnet would say, that Homeworld can't come back. They destroyed the warps once before, and if they're restored, things are going to be getting a lot more unearthly around here. Now, they would have eventually checked them, along with actually finding things to be okay. Until a couple weeks later, whenever there's a bit of a odd coincidence. One day, whenever Deku and Pearl are training, Deku finally being handed a sword after a long time, Deku would have actually been a bit more curious about this. Her teaching Deku fencing, along with Amethyst at least saying that if Deku wants to learn a real weapon, then to learn something like a whip, or well at least use a bolos, something like that. Swordsmanship isn't really, well, his style. Deku at least joking saying that, and smacking myself in the face again is, and with this somewhat laughing, remembering that time she let Deku at least try out her weapon. Pearl was mad and, well, Greg was a bit annoyed. However, Garnet was at least laughing at the situation too. Now, Deku, he is still a bit more confused as to why he's learning all this. But, well, Pearl says that it's a good hobby, along with a good way to train your body. Since you work on mobility and, well, problem solving at the same time. It's somewhat like keeping a fusion stable if you want to be specific. Now, Deku, him and Pearl are training, as he is actually put up against a hollow Pearl today. And, well, Pearl would have actually been called away by Garnet. Deku and Amethyst being left at the Sky Arena. Deku battling against this Pearl, as he's at least just keeping his stance right and his body forward. Never thought I'd have a chance to make that joke, and I don't know why I've never really used that. I love Steven Universe, why wouldn't I reference that? Anyways. Now, with that being said, Deku would have been at least sparring with his Pearl. Him using one sword, while this one is only using two. So, Pearl expects him to use his shield. Deku actually doing so. This Pearl being a bit more aggressive with her fighting. Deku kinda confused. Whenever he does actually use his shield to block, this Pearl would have stabbed into it, actually breaking her sword, as it gets sent flying away. Deku picking up on that, as this Pearl would just begin to smash swords with Deku. Deku actually colliding with it, and then sweeping his sword upwards, bringing his guard down, smacking into the other Pearl's hand, as he would have sliced through it with the blade, and been a bit confused. Amethyst actually running over and seeing what happened. Since Deku, well, he was clearly a bit surprised by that. So, Pearl's lessons are beginning to get a bit weird. That's the first time that's ever happened, though. And, well, Amethyst is trying to think. The only reason that would have happened is if something happened with Pearl, as she would go running for the warp, carrying Steven above her head. Eventually, them warping back, and being a bit confused at what they see. Now, Amethyst would have walked in and see Pearl, with her hands over her mouth, just staring at Ruby and Sapphire. Deku confused as to who those two are. He's never really met them before. They were around whenever he was little, but he doesn't remember that. Now, Deku is, well, just asking who are those? Well, those two. Pearl just saying that those are Ruby and Sapphire. But why are you here? Sapphire just looking up, with a tear in her eye, as she would run off, directly past both of them, and use the warp to get away. As Ruby is beginning to burn the area underneath her, and things are beginning to get a bit more complicated. As the Sapphire, Ruby, okay, I had that right in my head. Ruby would just say that they just learned something from Sir Night-Eye. And, well, it's not good. It's bad, actually. Pearl just asking what she means. Ruby just looking up and saying that this news might surprise you. But, well, Homeworld's coming back. It's not just that. Rose never shattered Pink Diamond. Pearl just, her eyes widening. Her hands immediately just coming back over her mouth. Saying, what does she mean? As, well, Ruby on saying one thing. Rose was Pink Diamond. Now, Deku's eyes would widen. And he's still confused. His mom was a diamond? Wait, Pink Diamond? So, the lady in the mural, that was Mom? Pearl just breaking down, and falling to her knees crying, saying that she wanted to tell them. Ruby actually being taken aback. Her realizing that Pearl knew this information. Shouting at her, why didn't she tell them? As Amethyst is not really sure what to do, or even say. This isn't supposed to be a thing. She's heard so much about the rebellion, but Rosal's on both sides? You're lying, that doesn't sound like Rose. Rose was a court soldier. She got fed up with Earth, or Homeworld, and decided to let Earth be a free planet. Pearl just turning around, and staring Amethyst straight in the eyes, not saying a single word. Amethyst somewhat realizing this. Everything she's heard from Rose Quartz is a lie. That doesn't... what? Her actually getting a bit angry. And actually running off herself. As Deku, he's not sure what to even say. Walking over and asking Ruby exactly what does she mean. But you said Sir saw something, right? Pearl just saying, yes. What was that? What do you mean Homo's returning, though? Well, it's not just that. It's, well, something that Sir said was called a Jasper. Apparently, within the next 7 years, they'll be here. And trying to finish this thing called the cluster experiments. That's all Sir Night-Eye knew. And he said that that was all he needed. So, someone's coming, Pearl. I'm not sure who it is. But, what are we supposed to do? Rose was, well, she encouraged us. She saw our fusion as something to be proud of. Told us never to question ourselves. Gave us freedom. We survived that encounter that day because of her. we would probably still be wandering the earth, or, well, end up somewhere. Where would we have gone? This doesn't make sense. Ruby's eyes actually begin to water, as her fire would begin to burn it. Deku picking up on that, and, well, asking Pearl if where would Ruby go? Where would Sapphire go? As they would leave, leaving Ruby to sit down and at least think about this on the beach. Not really sure what to even say. How are they supposed to be, well, the leader of the Crystal Gems if they're not Garnet? Now, this is whenever they would have arrived at Rose's fountain, still covered in vines, and, well, tapped dry. Now, with that being said, this entire place is covered in ice, and the vines are very brittle, being able to be broken through fairly easily. And, well, that being the thing, Pearl abuses, slicing through and actually beating through a lot of them, since these overgrown plants are in Rose's garden. Deku just beginning to ask questions. So, how long have you known? Pearl is looking at Steven, before turning back. Now, Deku, I said Steven. I wonder how many times I said that during this episode. Deku at least trying to figure this out. In his head, it doesn't make sense. Mom made a war against herself. So, why would she do that? Why did she lie? Even then, what did they mean? Mom was Pink Diamond. One of the 4 diamonds. That doesn't make sense. She was made on Earth, popped out of the ground. So he's half diamond. Deku trying to at least think about that. What does that mean then? The diamonds were said to be huge, so why is he, well, small? Why was Mom small? Now, with that out of the way, eventually they would have found Sapphire, sitting in one of the empty fountains, looking up at the statue in the center. Her not really saying a single word. And, well, eventually Pearl would have to slide in and ask her if she's gonna be okay. Sapphire just saying that she knew all along, and she hid the information. This isn't what you do to a team member. Your friends. Pearl just trying to explain herself. Pearl was never meant to hand out this information. Along with that, well, she knows that Greg knew. Hasashi, not Greg. She knows that Hasashi knew. And, well, they wanted to tell old Steven whenever he was older, but they couldn't really find the right time. Well, I guess that talk is out of the way now. As one thing would happen. Pearl and Sapphire are just crying, both of them trying to at least console each other. Pearl just saying that she's sorry for lying, while Sapphire's not really apologizing, she's just crying. And, well, she's just saying that she's glad she doesn't have to hide this any longer. As things would begin to at least heat back up. The place doesn't feel like it's freezing anymore. And in fact, it's a bit more troublesome. Whenever things do heat up, the plants would actually begin to get more lively. They're still somewhat frozen, but they can at least begin to move a bit more. that I'm actually trying to reach out and, well, surround the fountain. Pearl just saying that this place is a bit weird. Even now, she would wipe away her tears, saying that it doesn't change anything. Rose was a diamond. She swore to protect Earth. She kept this secret for a long time. And, well, that's the only secret she kept from you two. From Amethyst. So, I promise no more secrets. Okay? Just, let's go get you and Ruby back together. As one thing happens. They would leave the fountain and get back over the warpad. Heading home. Now, I do believe that that is a good note to leave this off on. And I do hope you enjoyed. To those of you calling me a madman for doing this early, it will make sense. In the future, I hate myself for doing that, but it was well worth it.